Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, a show dedicated to helping you expand your capacity, take your life in every area to an entirely new level, and creating a day and a life by design. Here's your host, Dan Hafner. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, your host, Dan Hafner here. Today's topic is this: staying committed to the path. As always, I appreciate you all joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. All right, my friends. Man, this was tough to come on here and do an episode today because I don't feel like doing this shit at all. Like, at all. I'll be straight up with you. This isn't a show where I come on and try to act all bubbly and happy and rainbows and unicorns coming out my ass all the time, right? To be honest, I'm having a rough day. But that's exactly why I kind of wanted to come on here and talk about this. So, hope there's not like a continuing theme of, I feel like I've kind of been saying this a lot on the show lately, but it's just where I'm at, right? So, the interesting thing is that when I thought about this title for today, staying committed to the path, I really wanted to come on here and just share my thoughts with you on this because I think it's really profound. So long story short, there's all kinds of technology issues I'm having inside of the Runway Jap right now. Like I'm trying to switch vendors. I'm trying to upgrade things significantly, like trying to make it more of a Cadillac type of experience rather than like a Toyota type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so that's really the background of it, is just trying to push and make the app a lot better, right? Turns out it's hard. Turns out it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, right? Because the ultimate goal I had was to streamline things, to make it a lot more user-friendly, a lot more intuitive, just a whole different layout, a whole different system to it, right? So that was the goal, right? Now, the path that I had to get there, I had mapped out. I was like, okay, here's the first step I need to take, and then the second step. And then once I have those in place, then I can get this thing going. And I had the whole roadmap laid out. And then shit went sideways on like step 1, step 2, right? Like things just went like horribly, horribly wrong. Delays, more money than I thought it was going to be, just like all kinds of different stuff. And it's like got me to a place where I'm just like pulling my freaking hair out, right? But then I stepped back and I learned, or I should say I realized this valuable lesson in this about staying committed to the result rather than staying committed to the path. Right? Maybe I screwed up the title of this one. Maybe it should be committed to. I don't know. My brain is fried, right? Because this is the thing, right? Like when you're climbing a mountain, right? You're going on a hike. You're doing whatever. You're going on a journey across the country, like a road trip, right? Like you have the goal in mind. You punch in an address into Google Maps, and it says, okay, you got to go this way, then this way, then this way, then this way. Well, what happens when you miss a turn? It doesn't just like completely break down on you. No, it's like, oh, okay, you're going this way now. All right, well, then you need to go another mile up the road, take a right now instead, and then go. Like it auto corrects, right? So even though the path is different, Google Maps is having you stay committed to the result. You're committed to the result because you're heading there eventually, regardless of the path that gets you there. Like, you all know this to be true, right? Like, whenever you want to drive somewhere, there's probably 80,000 different routes that you can take to get there, but they all get you to the same place. Some might take longer. Some might be more bumpy. Some might have freeways. Some might not have freeways. They're just different. They're just different. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, my plan got all shot to hell, right? Got completely shot to hell. So I had a choice, right? I have a decision to make at that point of, okay, do I completely scrap the destination that I'm going towards and just forget it and give up? Or do I find a different path, right? Do I autocorrect myself? Do I say, okay, well, all right, well, that I missed that turn, or that turn went, I was supposed to turn right there and it turned left. Okay, well, now where do I go? Where do I go from here? Right. And I think a lot of us, that's the moment that we all miss, that turn in the road when it goes wrong, because there's a lot of thoughts and feelings that come into there where it's like, well, shit, like, this isn't supposed to happen to me. This was not the way it was supposed to go, or this is not how I envisioned this. And like, there's all this. It's kind of like, if you ever read the book Who Moved My Cheese, right? You can sit there and stomp your feet and cry and complain and whine about it, and hope that it changes, and hope that somehow you just automatically get back on the track for what you were doing. Or you can figure it out and figure out a different way forward, right? So this is just, and I hope you can think about this in your life. Like, where in your life do you miss these turns, or where have you missed turns in the past? And you've kicked and screamed and stomped your feet and got all pissy and whiny about things, when you could have, looking back on it, just course corrected and been like, you know what? Like, that's okay. The path is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be how I envisioned it. It's not going to be the way that I thought it was going to be, but we're still going to get there, right? It might take a little bit longer. It might not be as pretty. It might be just different, but ultimately it's going to work out. So that's my question for you today. A little bit of a shorter episode today, but where in your life is this happening, and how can you just stay committed to the result rather than the path? Because the path will always change. I never would have thought in my life that I'd be going down this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole and in all these different ways. But throughout everything, right, I've been committed beyond belief to the result that I want. And the path has changed. The path changes daily, like sometimes hourly, you know? But as long as you're committed to where you're going, you'll get there. And I'll get there. And we'll all get there. You just have to stay committed to the result. All right, my friends. So that is all I have for you today. As always, you can head over to mastermind.com, Google Run Your Day, and join the Run Your Day Elite program, which is going to be very, very awesome. It's going to be starting here after Labor Day. This is actually the Friday before Labor Day. So I hope you all have a very fun and safe Labor Day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world. Have a good weekend, my friends. Have a good weekend and stay committed to the result. All right, my friends, Dan Hafner signing off. Make it a great rest of your day. Hey, have you ever thought about joining a virtual run challenge? As COVID-19 continues to upend our lives and change our life routines, finding fresh ways to challenge yourself physically can be difficult. I know I'm having trouble with that. It can also be pretty hard to connect with others and find accountability partners for the purpose of fitness as well. That's why we created Runwage Virtual Challenges. Runwage Challenges are a new and exciting way to stay physically active and maintain social distancing. Every challenge takes place 100% online, and you can compete against and engage with runners from all over the world. Best of all, they are the only virtual challenges out there which actually reward participants with real cash. That means you have no excuse for staying inactive during this pandemic. So if you've been looking for a fresh and interesting way to stay active and get your miles in, go to runwageapp.com/virtual challenges to join me and the diverse community of runners already competing. That's runwageapp.com/virtual challenges. Can't wait to see you there.